Hello everyone! Today we are going to take a look at a commander deck. Oketra the True. Mono white, featuring one of the gods of Amonkhet. And yeah, this deck is basically Voltron. So yeah, you're gonna win with Oketra. And incidentally, she has double strike and she is indestructible. So that's a pretty good basis for a Voltron Commander. However, she cannot attack or block unless you control at least 3 other creatures. And for 4, she makes another creature. A white warrior creature token with vigilance. It is a 3/6 by itself, so that's a pretty nice body. And costs 4 mana to play. So, as you can guess by this commander, we are going to build a deck around tokens. Yeah? We're gonna do some tokens. So this deck is not going to feature any infinite combos. Like always, the playgroup doesn't approve. And actually, I haven't played with this deck yet. Tonight I'm going to have a tournament and I'm going to play with this deck. And I'm really looking forward to how this deck will perform. First of all, the boring bits. 27 basic planes. Now I tried to make them all like this, but unfortunately I didn't have enough, so well, I actually love this one as well. So 27 planes, there we have it. The other land base features a homeward path. If she gets stolen, you really want her back, because it's quite a hard card to get rid of and get back into your command zone. We have a Temple of the False God. Pretty basic. Core Haven, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by target attacking creature this turn. It's a little bit of a maze effect. Myriad Landscape, yeah, basically fetches you 2 basic land cards that share a land type. And put them onto the battlefield tapped. Excellent card. Windbrisk Hides. It has Hideaway. So when this enters the battlefield, it enters tapped. And when it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom of your library. It taps for white, but you can also use the second ability for 1 white and tap it. You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. If you attack with 3 or more creatures this turn. This fits excellently in our token deck. Right. Next up, we have Emiria, the Sky Ruin. You can just bring back creatures if you control 7 or more planes. There we have it. I'm going to switch these up. Since I'm left, that's better. We have an Ash Barrens. We can basic land cycle. I've never actually played with this card, but, well, we'll see how it works out. And we have a Strip Mine. Pretty much sack it to destroy a land of your choice. So I saw this deck list a while back on Tapped Out, and I decided to copy it and alter it slightly because I didn't have all the cards in here. So I will post a link down below for that deck list, and later on as well my own deck list. I made some changes, obviously. It needs a mobilization, but I don't have one, so yeah, still on the wanted list. So we have a Soul Ring, mana acceleration stuff, extra planar lands, excellent card for mana acceleration, a Marble Diamond. Yeah, why not? Pretty nice card. And we have Oketra's Monument. White creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. Excellent. Now then, we are going to have to use Enlightened Tutor as well. Pretty basic stuff. We have, of course, a Ghostly Prison. You don't want to get attacked a lot, and you really want to attack them back. Smash their teeth out. Right, we have 3 Planeswalkers here. Elspeth, Knight Errant, she creates tokens. That's basically the whole thing. She's in here, and of course you can give Oketra +3/+3 and flying, which also helps you out a lot. Next up we have Elspeth Tirel. Either you gain a lot of life or you put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield in just one go. So then Oketra can instantly attack. That's pretty awesome. And we have Elspeth Sun's Champion. Yes, we play 3 different Elspeths. With this one you can also play 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Yeah, if you can get to the emblem, you'll have an advantage as well, because you get flying and you'll boost up Oketra and the other creatures. So we have more boost with Crusade. Very basic, very, very cool. I always love playing with Crusade. And in that same spirit, Honor of the Pure. Slightly better than Crusade. Cathar's Crusade. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yeah! Take that. Intangible Virtue. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 in Vigilance. Also very good in this deck. Spear of Heliod. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And for 3 you can destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. Yeah, take that. Retaliate if you must. True Conviction. Creatures you control have double strike and lifelink. And we have an Anointed Procession. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. Of course, that goes without saying that you'll need that. Now, for our token creations, we have White Sun Zenith. Put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens onto the battlefield. Shuffle White Sun Zenith into its owner's library. Then we have Secure the Wastes. Put X 1/1 white warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. And we have Martial Coup. Put X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Very nice. And since you will destroy all other creatures, she is indestructible. Deal with it. Ha! Right. Speaking of destruction, Austere Command. Choose 2. Destroy all artifacts, or destroy all enchantments, or destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less, or destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Then we also have Mass Calcify. Destroy all non-white creatures. It's a bit of a high order, a tall order to cast this one, but it's an excellent card. Very expensive, but a superb card in our deck. Rest in Peace. When Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Oblivion Ring, who doesn't know it, remove a non-land permanent from the game. When this goes, you'll get it back. Return to Dust, remove target artifact or enchantment from the game. If you played this spell during your main phase, you may remove up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment from the game. Oblation, shuffle something back, then draw 2 cards for that owner. Very good card to get rid of stuff that is indestructible. Swords to Plowshares, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Very good to get rid of stuff. Now this card, oh my god. I was playtesting this deck with my girlfriend, and she played an artifact heavy deck. This card, seriously, I had no clue that this existed. It was amazing. She played a red-black deck, stacks. I played this card, and it was basically just you'll never get your artifacts back until you kill Oketra. Seriously, when it enters the battlefield, exile all artifacts your opponents control until Consulate Crackdown leaves the battlefield. Seriously. And the 5 mana is just... it's worth it. Around turn 5, you'll probably have some artifacts against you, or your opponents have them as mana ramp. You can play that and it's just... wow. insane. Day of Judgment, destroy all creatures. Darksteel Mutation. Pretty much a card that I include in every white deck. It's an excellent way to get rid of a commander, but it stays in play. It becomes indestructible and loses all other abilities, and it becomes a 0/1 insect. A Path to Exile. Exile target creature. Its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle his or her library. Right. Very good card as well to get rid of stuff with indestructibleness. Wrath of God, obviously, because we play a god, we will have a Wrath of God. More on that later. Destroy all creatures. And then we have Condemn. Put target attacking creature on the bottom of its owner's library. Its controller gains life equal to its toughness. This used to be an extremely good card, because at the beginning, when Commander was just new, commanders would only go to the command zone if they would die. If they were tucked on top of the library or in the bottom, or yeah, you just couldn't get it to the command zone like they do nowadays. So this card was very good of getting rid of commanders permanently, unless they shuffled it or drew it or whatever, tutored it. Now then, a very interesting card here. I didn't actually, I know about white counterspells. Mana Teeth is one, but this one, I didn't know this one. Lapse of Certainty. It's a counter target spell. If it's countered this way, put it on top instead of the graveyard. Very nice to slow your opponent down. I didn't know about this. This was in the original list, and I liked it so much I put it in there. Now then, for some more creatures, we have, of course, a Sun Titan. Can never go without a Sun Titan. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card. A permanent, not just a creature. A permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sweet. Sram, the Senior Edificer. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. Yeah, scratch the vehicle spells. We don't run those. We do run some equipments and about 2 auras, but more on that later. We have, of course, Thalia, the Heretic Cathar. First strike, and creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. And a very nice one. This one was recommended by a friend of mine. He said if you're going with tokens, you'll have to have this one. Benalish Commander. It's 4 mana. It has power and toughness equal to the number of soldiers you control, but you can suspend it for X. And X cannot be 0. Whenever you remove a time counter from him, while it's removed from the game, put a 1/1 white soldier creature token into play. So this creates tokens every single turn for as long as it's suspended. That is just amazing. Eversin, Angel of Hope. An 8/8 flying vigilance. Pretty tough to deal with. And Eversin and other permanents you control are indestructible as well. The Hero of Bladehold. It has Battle Cry. It is a 3/4, and whenever it attacks, put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield tapped and attacking as well. Windborn Muse. Flying 2/3. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she controls. That's attacking you. Basically, this is a ghostly prison on a stick. Aven Mind Sensor, because we only want our opponents to search the top 4 cards instead of their entire library. Yeah, we don't want to make it too easy for them. Archon of Justice, flying. When it is put into graveyard from play, remove target permanent from the game. Nice. Elish Norn, of course. This card goes in every single white deck. Creatures you control get +2/+2. Creatures your opponents control -2/-2. Oh. If you don't have this card and you play white, I suggest you'll go save. Save up some money to get it. Mother of Runes. Oh, I remember. back in the days. I started out with Mercadian Masks, as most of you guys know by now. And this was also standard legal back then. A friend of mine played black decks mostly. Sengir Vampire and such. And he also had Mother of Runes, but he would never let go of it. He would never trade it. He had a couple of those. Then he played a white deck and I was so amazed by the card. It's just 1 mana, 1/1. And if you tap it, a creature you control gains protection from a color of your choice until end of turn. This is an amazing card. I just cannot stress that enough. Right, we have Captain of the Watch. Vigilance. Other soldier creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Vigilance. And whenever it enters the battlefield, put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. Works excellent with Oketra. And then the guy from the Wrath of God art, Helios, God of the Sun. 4 mana 5/6, indestructible as well. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, it is not a creature. Now getting to a devotion of 5 white or more isn't that hard. Other creatures you control have Vigilance, and for 4 you can put a 2/1 Cleric Enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. Knight of the White Orchid. A 2/2 first strike. Whenever it comes into play, if an opponent controls more land than you may search your library for Plains card. Put it into play. Angel of Jubilation. Flying 3/3. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. And players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities. Brimas, the King of Oreskos. It's a 3/4 Vigilance. Whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 white cat soldier token with Vigilance onto the battlefield attacking. And whenever it blocks, put the same creature onto the battlefield blocking that creature. Basically, you'll just make a shadow copy that does the same thing as him. Then we have the Grand Abolisher. It's a 2/2 for only 2. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Very powerful card, especially in multiplayer. And then we have a Stoneforge Mystic, because, yeah, the last pile is a bunch of equipments that you want to search. So when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And for only 2 mana, you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Now then, let's move over to the stuff that you use to empower Oketra. So first of all, we have the Swiftfoot boots to give her hexproof and haste. Then we also have, there it is, the Champion's Helm. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, and if it's legendary, hexproof as well. Yeah, it may not be the best card out there, but I really want to play this card for a long time now. And now I can. We have a Skull Clamp to sacrifice those small tokens and draw some cards in the process. Loxodon Warhammer, very classic old card. Everyone played it back in the days. Basically, equipped creature gets +3/+0, has trample, and has whenever this creature deals damage, you gain that much life. These days, it is called lifelink. We have a Sword of Fire and Ice. All the swords in the cycle say +2/+2 and protection from 2 colors, of which it is, in this case, red and blue. Then if it deals combat damage to a player, Sword of Fire and Ice deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and you draw a card. Now from the same line we have Sword of Body and Mind, protection from green and blue. Whenever it deals combat damage, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield, and that player puts the top 10 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. This can be tricky in Commander. Some players have stuff like Kozilek or Ulamoch, which if they are placed into the graveyard from anywhere, the entire graveyard gets shuffled back. So you have to be careful with this one. Sword of Light and Shadow, protection from white and black, and when it deals combat damage to a player you gain 3 life, and you may return up to 1 creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then we have Sword of the Animist. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, you may search your library for basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, shuffle your library. Great card as well. Right, next up there are 3 cards that are not on the original list, but I really wanted to include these just for the fun of it. First of all, we have Umezawa's Jite, was also suggested by a friend of mine. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Umezawa's Jite. Sure. Remove a charge counter, choose 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, or target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, or you gain 2 life. Sweet card. And then I really wanted to play with Godsend for a long time, so I figured, yeah, why not just include it here. It's flavorful, isn't it? Equipped creature gets +3/+3. Whenever equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked by 1 or more creatures, you may exile 1 of those creatures. Sweet. And opponents can't cast spells with the same name as cards exiled with Godsend. Now then, that's pretty handy if you if you just exile commanders, for example. Haha. But they see it coming, so yeah, that's a shame. And finally, yes, World Slayer. Oh, great card. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. If you manage to get this to Oketra and strike only once, you're just set for the game. Because Oketra is indestructible, this does not destroy Oketra. So it remains attached and you can strike every single turn, destroy everything they play. They wouldn't stand a chance anymore. It's really sick. Then we have only 2 cards left. One of them is Armored Ascension. Gets +1/+1 and flying, and +1/+1 for each planes you control. Great card. And we have Arrest, to arrest those pesky little commanders that keep bullying you and such. Yeah, so there you have it, my Oketra deck. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll go play it tonight, and I really hope it works out. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.